Hello, yogis. Welcome to my intermediate class. I don't know about you, but I've been feeling rather unsettled in lieu of everything that's been happening in our world. I just got back from Mexico. I was there for spring break and came back to a very different feeling in my home in Iowa than when I left. I am being a lot more careful with where I go, what I do, who I'm around, and I'm trying to self-quarantine. So anyway, I have to focus on things beside what's happening outside of me. And if I focus on things that are happening inside of me, it works out much better. Hi, Katniss. Thanks for joining me. So let's just begin by closing our eyes and just focusing on your breath. Feel the breath move in and out. Your breath is there whether you focus on it or not. But when you do, it brings you a calmness. It's one of the methods I use every day to find a little bit more peacefulness, a little bit more calm when I'm feeling unsettled. Just notice the texture of your breath. See if you can smooth it out. Make it a little less rough. Take a moment to just feel your body. Feel yourself here, in this moment, in this body, breathing. Please bring your hands to heart center. We ask for peacefulness and calm in our world during these unsettled times. Please bless each of us with health. Please surround us with blessings. Please lower your hands, open your eyes. I'd like to start by laying down. So go ahead and stretch out on your backs. Lay all the way down. Just stretch your arms up over your head. Stretch through your feet and legs. And then go ahead and hug your knees in towards your chest. You can slowly draw the knees a little bit wider. And then stretch your feet up towards the ceiling. If you flex the feet, so it's almost like your knees are coming towards your armpits. And then just reach up and grab the little toe side. And before you do anything else, think about lengthening your spine, making your pelvis level, and stretching your sacrum to the ground. And then we'll just find ourselves, once you do all that, you'll find yourself kind of pressing your feet into your hands, and your hands are just kind of like stoppers. And then you can just roll side to side a few times. This is called Happy Baby, and it's always a calming pose for me. And then just pause in the middle, release your feet, bring the feet right below your knees, bring your hands by your hips, and just bring your left ankle over the top of your right thigh. Flex the left foot, lift the right foot up off the floor, and then just kind of actively press the ankle into the thigh and the thigh into the ankle. And you'll feel yourself attempting to keep a little curve in the low back and lengthening your spine. Bring my arms up so you can see. And then release that side and switch. So right ankle over left thigh. Lift, you're pressing actively with the ankle, with the thigh, lengthening the spine. And then please release. Bring the soles of your feet together now. Let your knees open wide. And just take a breath or two. Then please close your knees and just rock up to a seated position. Bring your feet wide. Might have to bring your hands on behind you so that you can get more on your sits bones, and then just maybe a little fold forward. And then come on up, bring the soles of the feet together. Lengthen tall, and maybe a little fold. And then just do that again. Upavista. And Baddha Konasana. And then please bring your feet out in front. Hold the back of your knees, lengthen your spine, and just lean back, come into a boat pose. You can modify by keeping your hands here and your shins parallel to the floor, or if you want to go to the full pose, let go, lengthen your spine, lift up. Try and stay for 3 breaths. So glad you're helping me today, Katniss. Good, and then release. And make your way to an all fours position. And as you do, just move through a few cat-cows. We'll start with your tail. Just kind of work all the way up your spine. I like to pull the hands and the knees towards each other, but I really have to keep my core engaged and lengthened. And then when I round to cat, I start with the tail. I just slowly round all the way up, broadening my shoulders. Last thing I do is tuck my chin. And do that one more time, starting with the tail. Working your way up. And then moving to cat pose. I'm doing cat pose, Katniss. Why don't you come help me? And back to cow. And one more time to cat. And then please pause with a flat back. Engage your core. I always have to tell myself to lift the low ribs towards each other, but I really want to feel my sternum stable. So I like to think of hugging the upper arms in, but broadening the shoulders apart. And then I feel a lot more stable. And then I extend the right leg straight back. Toes point down. And lengthen maybe the left arm, keeping your head in line with your spine. Good, and then lowering the left hand, you're going to have to round a little bit because you want to bring your right knee towards your right armpit. And then extend it back. And do that 2 more times. Right knee towards the right armpit. Extend it back. Right knee towards the right armpit. Extend it back. And then this time, bring the knee towards your nose. You might have to move your hand out of the way because you're just going to step your right foot up between your hands. And make sure they're hip distance apart. So this right foot is right in front of the right hip. Left knee is in front of the left hip. And then just pause here. I want you to think, I'm going to attempt to make a curve in the low back and lengthen my spine. And I really feel the heel and the whole right foot grounded and isometrically pulling back, and the left knee pulling forward. And then maybe bring your hands to your front knee. Keep that same action, lengthening the spine, using your core strength. Maybe bend a little deeper to get a little more hip flexor stretch. And then please release. And step the right knee back again. Now we'll switch to the left side. So you're going to extend the left leg, toes point down, engage the core, and the right arm. And then lowering the right hand, you're going to do that knee towards the armpit. So left knee towards the left armpit and extend it back. 2 more times like that. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then this time, knee towards the nose. Move the hand out of the way so you can bring the foot forward. Hug to the midline. Really feel that front foot engage. And then just lengthen your spine both directions, through the top of your head, through your tail. And then once you have that, bring your hands to your knee and slowly extend upward. Feeling a little stretch in your hip flexor, really hugging towards the midline with your foot and your knee, both front to back and side to side. And then please release. Step your knee back. Move your hands forward slightly of your elbows or of your shoulders. Curl your toes and come to your first downward facing dog. And just walk your dog up. I always start by lifting my sits bones with my knees bent, and then I think, okay, I'm going to activate the core, which causes my shoulders to lift more. And then once I have all that connection, then I can lengthen my spine both directions and feel a really nice stretch. And then just walk your dog out a little bit. Once you have that great connection, you can even sway your hips side to side. Good, and then lower your knees, widen them a bit, bring your big toes together, and sit back to a child's pose. I'm going to take off a layer, because now I'm feeling warmer. Feel a nice stretch in child's pose. And then make your way back to a downward facing dog. Again, I bend my knees, lift my sits bones, engage my core, and stretch. And then one hand width at a time, walk your hands back to your feet. And come to a forward fold. I would start with my knees bent, and if you have tight hamstrings, use your blocks under your hands here. And just think long spine, knees bent, lengthen the sits bones back again, reuse your core, and then you can always fold deeper if that's what you want. And then slowly, I'm going to start one vertebrae at a time. Just come on up to standing. Good. And please stretch your arms up. Look up at your thumbs for a moment. And then stretch your left arm down. Your right arm stays up. Engage the core. Keep a little baby bend and arc to your right. And then switch sides. So right arm up, left arm down, and arc to your left. And then please come back to center. Reach way up. And bring hands down through heart center. Now please stand on your right foot and lift your left knee up and just interlace the fingertips around the knee. And I'm trying to keep my hips level, and I'm really trying to hug in with the glutes. I can't think of the word. Hug in with your glutes. So you can stay there. 2 more breaths. And release. And switch sides. I'm really concentrating so the standing leg, switch sides, bring the knee up. The standing leg, squeeze that glute more. Find a place to focus on with your eyes. That helps balance too, and really use your core more than anything else to help you stay balanced. 2 more breaths. And please release. Good. Mosey on up to the front of your mat. You might want to bring your blocks just in case you want to use them. I'll tell you when it's a good time. And please extend your arms way up again. Feel a stretch. Reach with your right hand a little more than your left, and then your left hand a little more than the right. And then on your next exhale, please fold forward into that Uttanasana, forward fold position. Inhale, pranam, lengthen your spine. I like to lift my hands so I can really feel an extension. Exhale. Lower. Please step your right foot back to a deep lunge. Lower the back knee. Hug to the midline again. This time stretch up Anjaneyasana. You can always use the blocks under your hands at this point. Not when you're stretched up, but when you touch down, you can use the blocks here. And then especially now, you're going to move your right knee back just a little bit as you straighten your leg. I'm going to move the block so you can see. I press my heel down. I keep a little baby bend. I lengthen my spine. I keep my hips square to the front, and then I can stretch. And then stretch back up so your spine's lengthened. Just move your foot off to the side, so the side of the foot's down. Again, keep a little baby bend. Walk your hands to the right now. You'll feel a stretch in the IT band. Woo-hoo, mama. That's tight today. Good, come back to center, make sure the toes are up and go the opposite direction. So now the foot moves in and the whole leg, the kneecap and the toes point the same direction. And then I keep the hips level and maybe twist to the left a little bit. And then coming back to center, bending into the front knee. Step back to a downward facing dog. Hello. You're fine. Inhale, come to a plank pose. You can always lower your knees here if you need to in plank, or you can just lengthen long as you lower to the mat. Stretch your arms long, your legs long. Look at the floor. I even like to put my forehead down because then I think I can lengthen up and lift through the top of my head. I'm using my core muscles and I lift my legs, my arms, my head, my shoulders. Shalabhasana. 2 more breaths. And please lower down. Bring your hands back by your chest. Curl your toes under. And push back to downward facing dog. Extend your left leg. Oh, actually, it's your right. We started with the right. And step the right foot all the way up between your hands. Now you might have to lower the knee. If it doesn't get there, just help it, however you can. But then once you're there, lower the knee. Lengthen your spine. Stretch up Anjane. Keep the hips square, lengthening, really feeling that foot fully engaged. And please touch down. Move the left knee back a little bit, straighten the right leg. Make sure everything's square. Press the heel down, micro bend. I like to think of drawing that whole leg into the socket, trying to add a little curve in the low back, but lengthening my spine over the knee. Good, and then come up, turn the foot out just like we did before. Walk your hands to the right, you'll feel a stretch. Come back to center. I did it wrong. Walk your hands to the left on this one. Oh my goodness, as you turn the foot out. And then when you go inside, that's when you want to twist to the right. Good, and then back to center. Bend into the front knee. Lift the back knee, and please step forward. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. We're starting to feel a little warmer hands to heart center. So at the front of your mat, I want you to just look at your feet. Make sure they're pointing straight ahead. You're using all parts, all 4 corners. Hands are gonna stay at heart center. You're just gonna sit back like you're sitting in a chair, keeping everything stacked to Utkatasana. Good, now shift your weight to your right foot and just tap with the left foot out to the side. Sit back into the chair pose. Shift your weight, tap to the other side. Come back to chair. Now this time you're gonna tap and then tap back and come in. Good, and then switch sides, tap, behind, and back in. One more time each side. Tap, back and in, and shift, tap, tap, and in. Sit deep, lengthen the spine. Sit a little deeper. Good, and then slowly straighten the legs. As you do, you can reach down, touch the floor. Uttanasana. Just take a moment there. Got Teddy helping me now. Hi, Ted. Come here, buddy. Please step your left foot back first. Hug to the midline, just like you did. I want you to concentrate on lengthening your spine. And then bring your hands on your front knee. Slowly lift to that crescent warrior position. If you're feeling stable, stretch your arms up. I like to keep that back leg fully engaged. If it feels like it's pulling on your low back, bend the knee slightly and get that butt back a little further, and then think, okay, I'm gonna really use my core, and then maybe you can stretch back into that back leg. Feels like a deeper stretch. Good, touch down. Step right back to plank pose this time. Stay for a breath. And lower to the mat. This time cobra, so stretch the feet. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back down. Downward facing dog. Extend the left leg, step it all the way through, deep lunge. Hug to the midline, the hips stay square. Might have to bend the back knee, just slowly make your way on up to crescent warrior. Stretch the arms if that feels right for you. You don't have to, you can keep them right there on the knee. You can bend the back knee to really feel like you're engaging the core. You keep that curve. You hug and squeeze, and then maybe you can re-straighten. It's like a really nice stretch. And please touch down. Step forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Let's keep going. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Pranam with your breath. Exhale, fold. Step the left foot back first. Deep lunge. And then just kind of step it forward a little bit, so you can ground the heel down. And then see if you can keep the hips square and straighten the right leg. Remember, you have blocks you can use them. You have all kinds of height here. You want to keep things squared up. Try and maintain a curve in the low back, but use that core strength, and then fold. Forward, bend the front knee, step forward and switch sides. So you step it back to deep lunge, but then step it forward until it feels like the heel can stay grounded down. Use those blocks if you need to. Straighten the left leg, square up. Try and maintain a curve, lengthen the spine, and then fold. Inhale, look out, lengthen
lengthen your spine, bend the front knee, and step back to a downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale back down. And this time push back to mini child's pose. Keep your arms outstretched because it feels really good. Drink in a few sweet breaths. And then please make your way to a downward facing dog. Step your left leg up and through to a deep lunge. Ground the back foot down and make your way up to standing for a warrior two position. I want you to do this for me. Round your upper back, lean forward a little bit and get that right thigh back a little further and then come upright again. So it feels like that right thigh stays back. You're using all parts of your foot and your front foot. If you can still see your big toe on the left foot, you're probably lined up perfectly. Extend your arms. Warrior two, you can look out over your left hand. If you can bend a little bit deeper into the front leg, keep the knee right above the ankle. Now straighten the front leg. Feel a lengthening in your spine. Your legs stay the same. I like to hug my feet towards each other and then just move into triangle pose. You don't have to go so deep. You can come to your knee, to your ankle. You want your head to stretch over your left foot. And now stay there, bend into your front knee. You can slide the elbow to the knee or the hand to the floor. Stretch your other arm up and over to Parshva Konasana. One more breath. Look at the floor. Round your right shoulder to reach down, touch the floor, turn the back heel up, and step forward. I'm going to switch ends so I can see you. And please step the left foot back. Deep lunge, ground the back foot down. Come up to warrior two position. You bring the hands on the hips, make round, hips back, and then come up. I have to tell my rib cage on this side to stay back. And then stretch into the pose. And breathe. Two more breaths. On the next inhale, please straighten the front leg. And then just make your way into that triangle pose, thinking everything from the waist down stays stable. My spine lengthens. I just stretch into that pose. You don't have to look at the ceiling if you don't want to. If it's more comfortable to stay looking at the floor, do that. Do what works best for you. The head should stretch straight over the right foot. If it doesn't, if you're leaning forward, back off a little bit and just stretch it straight. And please bend into the front knee. You can slide the elbow there or slide the hand to the floor. Bring it up, our arm up and over. Hug the feet towards each other. And then looking at the floor, just around the left shoulder, down. And make your way to deep lunge position. Step back to downward facing dog. See if you can find a little peacefulness just by focusing on your breath, staying for a few more breaths, just really appreciating this pose. And then go ahead and lower your knees. Stretch your feet long and sit back on your heels. Now if you have really tight quads, you can bring a blanket to sit on, or you can just sit back. Close your eyes for a moment. Just take a few breaths here. And then please stretch forward. Come to downward facing dog. And step your feet to your hands. Come to a forward fold. And with a big inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. And bring hands to heart center. Good, back to a little balancing. You're just gonna stand on your right foot. Bring your left foot up. Grab the top of the foot and stretch into that frog stretch. Use your core to really lengthen. Good, now release the foot. See if you can bring the knee forward again. And then open the knee and come to tree pose. Use your core. Take your time, move slowly. That always helps with balance. And then bringing hands to heart center. Release the foot. Woo, good job. Switch sides. Standing on your left foot. Bring the right knee up behind. And stretch into that frog stretch. Releasing the foot, bring the knee forward. Open the knee to the side and make your way to tree. Whoa, my tree's blowing over. Sometimes that happens. When you're moving, you have to go slowly. And then luckily I have branches that help me balance. Because it might sway. And bring hands to heart center and release the foot. Close your eyes for just a moment and really take the time to feel your breath. Smooth it out. Good. Please open your eyes, stretch your arms up, and fold forward again, Uttanasana. And step back downward facing dog. We're going to Vasisthasana, which is side plank. So if you like to step the foot forward, feel free. You're just gonna turn to the little toe side of your left foot, step your right foot forward to open up into it, or you can stack and think really long length in your spine and open up. Stay for one more breath. And then touch down, downward facing dog. Take your time, bend your knees, lift your sits bones. Engage your core, lengthen your spine. And then please switch sides. So little toe side of the right foot, step or stack. Notice how my right hand's in front of my right shoulder slightly. And then I just open up. Vasisthasana. And then please make your way out. Take a little child's pose. And then please come on up and transition to your back. Laying on your back, make sure your feet are under your knees and hip distance apart. Notice how I have a little curve under my low back. I want to keep, if I bring my thumbs on my the lower ribs and on the pelvis, this should stay the same. This is the same. And then I just bring my hands by my hips. I press into my feet. I use all four corners of my feet because I want to use my legs actively. And then when I lift, this stays the same. It's almost like I could balance a cup of water on my belly. I might have to slide my shoulders under slightly. Katniss is my cat that got picked up by an eagle, and the eagle must have grabbed her tail, and so she lost most of her tail. So if she looks like a Manx, that's why, but she's really just a sweet little house cat. Good, and lower down. Take a breath or two. And then please lift again to bridge pose, remembering what we talked about. I really activate my core muscles when I lift so that I can keep that stable. And then I'm just going to press into my left foot, see if I can still keep this stable and extend the right leg. Notice it's about the same height as my left knee. And then I bend the knee, release it, and then I switch sides. I'm really active in my right leg as I extend the left leg. And bending the knee, release all the way down. Hug your knees into your chest one more time. Roll side to side. And then just like we started, widen the knees, lift the feet, reach up, grab the little toe side if that's possible. Notice how my elbows are on the inside. And then I just think, okay, I'm gonna lengthen my spine, activate my core, try and get the sacrum down. And when I do that, I feel a nice stretch. And then since you're warm at this point, if you want to, you can stretch the legs straight out to the side if that works for you. If not, just roll side to side, and you can even roll side to side like this. Feels kind of awesome. And then bending the knees, releasing the feet. Let's do a regular hip opener. So left ankle over right thigh. Lengthen the spine, lift the foot up. You might have to lift your head to interlace the hands. And then you can always lay the head and chest back down. Think, I'm gonna lengthen my spine. I'm really trying to get the sacrum to stay down. And maybe pull it a little closer. You'll feel this in your left hip. If you're doing the spine correctly, it isolates the stretch to the left hip. Notice how my left foot is very active, and even my right foot, I guess, is active too. Good. And then release, switch sides. Lift, interlace. I like to use my elbow to broaden, but I'm really engaging the core and lengthening the spine first. And then it isolates it to the hip. And then I can work to open a bit more. It feels awesome. Keep breathing. And please release it. Soles of the feet come together, knees open wide. Supta Baddha Konasana. Laying down, cobbler's pose. I like to bring my hands on my belly here because it just feels good and right to feel myself breathing. And then slowly closing the knees. Now wiggle your feet a little bit wider on the mat, right to the edge. For windshield wiper, bring your arms to cactus, or if that doesn't work, to T position. And just let both knees roll to the right side. And if that feels good and you want to go a bit deeper, you can place the right heel on top of the left knee. And then please unwind, lift the knees up and over to the other side. If you're going there, place the left heel on top of the right knee. And then please unwind, lift the knees, and now transitioning for Shavasana. Stretch your legs long, stretch your arms by your hips. If it feels okay to turn palms up, you're feeling open, do that. Close your eyes. And just turn to your breath. Again, smoothing out the texture of your breath. Just use it as a tool now to help you relax a little bit deeper into Shavasana. So every exhalation gives you an opportunity to relax a bit more. Allow the earth to hold you. Muscles and skin relax.
these uncertain times, you just stay totally present with what you're doing. And what you're doing right now is just laying and breathing and relaxing. And the anxiety, the uneasiness drifts away. I'd just like to close with a little reading from my favorite book, A Year of Miracles by Marianne Williamson. She always has good things to say. It always inspires me. She says, "I cannot know what will happen tomorrow or what would be best to occur in my life. I will not try to control my destiny. I surrender my future into the hands of God. I need not struggle to make things happen, and I need not plan how my life will unfold. I need only respond to the invitation of each moment to show up fully in excellence and love. Thus shall I be guided by life itself and delivered to my greater good." So if you have time and you'd like to spend a little more time in Shavasana, I highly recommend it. Thank you so much for trusting me and practicing with me.